Hello, welcome to Standard Voice Television News. I am Samira Ibrahim with today's bulletin, but first the major headlines. Police imposes 24-hour curfew in 14 polling units on Bakura by-election. INEC staff who went missing during Bakura by-election have been found. APC National Caretaker Committee dissolves state ESCOs. On business, federal government slashed the pump price of petrol. On sports, MESSI desperate to face RONALDO. And on the international scene, US President Donald Trump is willing to take COVID-19 vaccine on TV. Now the news in details. Ahead of Bakura local government run election in 14 polling units scheduled to hold on Wednesday, the Zamfara State Police Command has imposed 24-hour curfew on the affected areas. CP Usman Nagogo disclosed this on Monday while briefing newsmen on the level of security preparations securing the electorate and the environment before, during and after the election. He said the command and other security agencies in the state have mapped out strategies that will allow all eligible voters to come out and cast their votes for the candidate of their choice without fear of harassment or intimidation.
Anybody caught with any weapons will be dealt with severely according to the law of the land. We also emphasize that anybody who doesn't have a voter card has no business in the polling booth and he shouldn't be there. Those who are to be there should be more than 100 meters away from the polling booth. In fact, we decided that we are going to conduct all the polling booths. Only a prospective voter will be present and will be free to go and vote. At the end of the vote, that voter will also give way until the conclusion of the election.
According to the commissioner, adequate security personnel will be provided to each polling unit, warning that anybody found wanton in disrupting the voting process will be arrested and prosecuted. The Commissioner of Police made it clear that nobody is allowed to come closer to the polling unit except prospective voters that are accredited for voting. Controversy continues to trail the Bakura State Assembly election, declared inconclusive by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) on Sunday in Zamfara State. The All Progressives Congress (APC) in Zamfara has said that it will only participate in a rescheduled Bakura State Assembly by-election if the security of its members and its votes are guaranteed. This was announced by the party's leader in the state and also former governor of the state, Alhaji Abdulaziz Yari Abubakar, during a press briefing held at his residence in Talata Mafara on Sunday. The former governor, who described the exercise as a sham, alleged that it was marred with poor security cover to the electorate and that voters were left in hands of thugs who terrorized law-abiding citizens and openly snatched ballot boxes. For more details on this story, Peter Phillips reports.
The People's Democratic Party, PDP, while addressing journalists through Senator Lawal Dania, the party's chairman for the by-election, expressed dismay over the returning officer, Professor Ibrahim Magawata, for allegedly sidelining the APC candidate with a view of favoring the APC in the election. Senator Dania also alleged that the APC hired thugs and soldiers from neighboring Kebbi State to disrupt the election process and steal the mandates of the people. Also reacting to the allegation by former Governor Yari, the State Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Alhaji Yahaya Chadu Gora, said his party, PDP, is ready for the rerun election slated to hold Wednesday, even if the APC withdrew from the contest. Alhaji Chadu maintained that the APC members were the architects of all the crises recorded during the last Saturday's State Assembly by-election. In a related development, the APP party in the state has threatened to boycott the Bakura State constituency by-election rerun if the Independent National Electoral Commission refused to change the date from 9th December to 19th December. Addressing journalists in his office in Gusau on Monday, the chairman of the party, Alhaji Zayyanu Salisu Haske said it is improper for INEC to fix a rerun of an election which he said was marred by many controversies by just 2 days. That's the report. Peter Phillips reporting for SVTV News, Guzo.
The Independent National Electoral Commission INEC says its ad hoc staff who went missing during the December 5th Bakura State constituency by-election in Zamfara State have been found. INEC Director of Voter Education and Publicity, Nick Dazang, confirmed their return while speaking with journalists in Abuja on Monday. Mr. Dazang said that the ad hoc staff were found hale and hearty. He said that they ran for their dear lives during a commotion and in the process could not retrace their ways back. Mr. Dazang praised the Almighty God for this wonderful development. The Director of Voter Education and Publicity commended the State Resident Electoral Commissioner, REC, the Administrative Secretary and security agencies for their effort in finding the missing ad hoc staff. INEC had earlier declared the 2 ad hoc staff missing. The Commission also declared the December 5th by-election as inclusive while fixing Wednesday, December 9th for the conclusion of the election. The National Caretaker Committee of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC, led by Yobe State Governor Alhaji Malabuni, has resolved to dissolve all the state executive committees of the party across the country. According to sources, the sacked state executives of the party will be converted to caretaker members pending when the new election will hold in the states. Newsmen gathered that the decision to dissolve the ESCOs is to ensure that dates for congresses and primaries for the party are not held in the same year. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari participated in an emergency virtual meeting of the National Executive Committee (NEC) of the All Progressives Congress (APC) at the State House, Abuja. The Senate President Ahmad Lawal, Speaker of the House of Representatives Femi Bajabiamila, all state governors elected under the platform of the APC are in attendance of the meeting physically. The National Chairman of the APC Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee, who is also the Governor of Yobe State, Malabuni, had late November scheduled the meeting to review parties' positions on some issues affecting it. The APC had, on November 10th, announced timetable for the commencement of party registration of new members and revalidation of all members of the All Progressives Congress APC. President Muhammadu Buhari will address a joint session of the National Assembly on Thursday. The President's address to lawmakers is expected to focus on the security situation across the country. The address comes a week after the House of Representatives summoned the President following the worsening security situation, especially the killing of dozens of farmers in Borno State by Boko Haram. For more details on the story, over now to our correspondent, Beauty Abdulmalik.
The House of Representatives had on December 1st summoned the President over the killing of 43 farmers in Zebomari, a community in Jere local government area of Borno State. The attack, which took place in the morning of November 28 on mostly rice farmers in Zebomari, saw at least 43 farmers killed. About a dozen farmers are still missing since the attack. The victims were buried the following day. The incident sparked outrage on social media, with many calling for the resignation of service chiefs and even the President himself. The following week, both chambers of the National Assembly debated separate motions on the issues. But while the Senate simply called for the removal of current service chiefs for the third time, the Green Chamber summoned the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. The decision by the House was sequel to a chaotic debate on a motion of urgent national importance by Satomi Ahmed. The Speaker of the House, Femi Bajabiamila, later told the journalists that the President had agreed to appear before the House to answer questions bordering on the nation's security. Beauty Abdulmalik reporting for SVTV News, Guso.
No fewer than 13 persons abducted at Gatakawa village in Kankara local government area of Katsina State have been rescued by police on Monday. Their rescue trailed in a report that bandits in their numbers on motorbikes armed with AK-47 rifles shooting sporadically attacked the village, broke shops and carted away food items and kidnapped 13 persons. Subsequently, the divisional police officer of Kankara Division led a team of Operation Pop Adder to the village at about midday and engaged the bandits into a gun duel, thereby dislodging the hoodlums. For more details on this story, Hawa Muhammad reports.
In a press briefing held at the command headquarters Katsina, the police spokesman SP Gamba Isa told reporters that besides rescuing the kidnapped victims, the police team has also succeeded in recovering all the stolen items by the bandits. He said such parties are still combing the area with a view to arresting the wounded bandits and recover their dead bodies, as investigation, according to him, is still ongoing. In the meantime, the command has arrested a notorious fraudster, a thief who specializes in defrauding and stealing from unsuspected members of the public by posing as a Nigerian Air Force officer. The suspect, simply identified as Kamis Abdullahi of WO2 quarters at the Nigerian Defense Academy in Kaduna, was arrested based on credible intelligence since on November 12, 2020 at about noon. Abdullahi was reportedly using fake bank transfer alerts and similar other tricks. According to the police spokesman Gamba Isa, Nemesis caught up with the hoodlum when on the 24th of November 2020, dressed in Nigerian Air Force uniform, bearing the name K. Abdullahi with captain rank, approached one Muhammadu Isa Yerka, a car dealer in Alpha Motor Limited IBB Katsina, and introduced himself as Air Force captain who returned from the United Kingdom and posted to Katsina on special duty as a pilot. He demanded to buy a motor vehicle, Toyota Corolla S 2016 model, blue in color, valued 5,400,000 naira from the car stand. He promised to come later and pay for the vehicle. Subsequently, on the 2nd December 2020, he called the said car dealer Muhammadu and asked him to meet him at First Bank, Yahya Madawaki Katsina, and collect his money from the vehicle. The police arrested the culprit in the process of collecting the money. Hawa Muhammad reporting for SVTV News.
As the nation still rules the debilitating fallout of the recent NSAS protests nationwide, attempts to stage another protest by promoters across the country were preempted by the federal government on Monday, deploying armed policemen and soldiers at the epicenter of the last exercise, the Lekki Toll Plaza, Lagos. However, some members of the NSAS movement in Osun State stormed the streets of the state capital, Osogbo, demanding disbandment of the state panel of inquiry against police brutality. For more details on the story, Musa Joy reports.
In Ogun and Cross River State, the police warned that it would not hesitate to deal with any troublemaker, especially as the nation is here to recover from the carnage that trailed the last protests. Apparently referring to the planned new protest, President Muhammadu Buhari says citizens are at liberty to freely express themselves in a democracy, but one that he would not tolerate any act of hooliganism. However, it was gathered that the armed policemen and soldiers were deployed to the Lekki toll gate around midnight, following warnings by the State Police Command. There compared to be total compliance as NSAS protesters were conspicuously absent at the various proposed venues in the state, while the police debunked a viral video about protest gatherings in the state. Social media was busy with information that some youth had stormed the street of Lagos to protest the immediate release of all detained protesters and the freezing of their bank accounts by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Musa Joy Onyoza, SVTV News, Gusau.
Let me quickly take you to our business desk for the business update.
Welcome to Business Desk. The federal government has agreed to slash the pump price of premium motor spirit (PMS), known as petrol, by 5 naira from Monday next week. Senator Chris Njije, Minister of Labour and Employment, disclosed this while addressing newsmen at the end of a closed-door meeting with the organized labor on Tuesday in Abuja. Reports said that the meeting was necessitated by the increase of PMS from 160 naira per litre to 170 naira per litre and the increase of electricity tariff. Mr. Njije said the new pump price of petrol template would come into effect from Monday next week. Meanwhile, the National Bureau of Statistics said the value of import in third quarter 2020 represented the highest level for any quarter since 2017. The total value of Nigeria's merchandise trade from January to date is to 23.2 trillion naira, while trade in the third quarter of 2020 stood at 8.37 trillion naira. This was disclosed in its Foreign Trade in Goods Statistics third quarter 2020 published on its website on Monday. According to the report, the third quarter figure represents an increase of 34.15% compared to second quarter, with a decline of 8.85% compared to third quarter 2019. Giving details, the MBS said the import component was valued at 5.38 trillion naira, representing an increase of 33.77% in third quarter against the level recorded in second quarter and 38.02% compared to third quarter 2019. And that's all on Standard Voice Business Update. I am Musa Joy Onyoza. Back to the newsroom.
Thank you, Musa Joy. On spot, over to Fauzia Ibrahim.
Welcome to Sport Updates. I'm Fauzia Ibrahim. Barcelona talisman Lionel Messi is reportedly desperate to line up against Juventus forward Cristiano Ronaldo when the two clubs do battle in the Champions League Tuesday night. Barca and Juve have already qualified for the last 16, and the midweek clash is nothing more than a dead rubber. The Ronald Koeman would normally be expected to rest Messi for this tie. The six-time Ballon d'Or winner has not featured in La Blaugrana's recent win over Dynamo Kiev and Ferencváros, but Messi has not get a chance to play against Ronaldo earlier this year due to the Porteous positive coronavirus test. According to the Daily Mail, Koeman is prepared to relent and will start Messi against the old lady, in which he would find himself coming up against Ronaldo for the very last time. The two attackers have battled for supremacy over the past decade, but are now entering the latter stage for their career, with Ronaldo now 35 and Messi, who is still expected to leave Barcelona next summer, 2 years younger than his rival at 33. That's all on Sport Updates. Back to the newsroom.
And on the international scene, a White House official has revealed that President Donald Trump is willing to take the COVID-19 vaccine on TV. The expert reports that he might not need it after recovering from COVID-19 back in October. It could be recalled that Trump and Melania Trump tested positive for COVID-19 in early October and was briefly hospitalized at Walter Reed before returning to the White House after recovering. Former President Barack Obama, George Bush, and Bill Clinton have said they will get vaccinated for coronavirus on TV to promote its safety. The U.S. Food and Drugs Administration, FDA, plans to meet this week to discuss approval of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, which has been given green light by the UK. Still on the international scene, two officers of the Electoral Commission of Ghana have been arrested for allegedly tampering with ballot papers as the country's presidential election held on Monday. A statement by the Commission on Monday noted that the officers, identified as Mari Adasi and Ahmed Shafau, are currently in police custody. It is a tight race between Nana Akufo-Addo, incumbent president of Ghana, and his former rival John Mahama. Akufo-Addo of the New Patriotic Party (NPP) and Mahama, former president of Ghana, who is contesting on the platform of the National Democratic Congress (NDC), are both seeking a second and final term in office. There is a total of 12 candidates participating in the exercise, 9 males and 3 females, including Nana Konadu, widow of Jerry Rawlings, former president of Ghana. According to the Electoral Commission, over 17 million voters are registered to participate in the election. That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. Before we go, a quick look at the major headlines. Police in Zamfara State imposes 24-hour curfew in 14 polling units on Bakura by-election. We have also heard that INEC staff who went missing during Bakura by-election have been found. APC National Caretaker Committee dissolves state ESCOs. On business, you have heard that federal government slashed the pump price of petrol. And on sport, MESSI desperate to face Ronaldo. And on the international scene, US President Donald Trump is willing to take COVID-19 vaccine on TV. That's the news. On behalf of the production crew, Head of News and Current Affairs Department, Ibrahim Garabotuno, I am Samira Ibrahim, wishing you a pleasant day. Keep watching Standard Voice Television News. Goodbye.